What is Doughboys? Doughboys is a business I officially launched in 2020 during the pandemic, but the idea started way before that during my freshman year back in around 2016. I eventually found this website called Alibaba, and on there they had a third-party vendor that sells custom food trucks. They happen to be in China. So over the next couple of months, I was working with their engineers and their product sales people, the schematics, which some of you may have seen in some other videos, and before long, I ended up receiving the DOUGHCART. I started receiving some media attention when I posted this photo. I started getting some business, and also my school was really proud of me and even offered to help me with anything I needed, as well as, and most importantly, I would say, let me use one of their kitchen spaces. I had an amazing space where I was able to prepare my food with my team, and things were moving on 4 cylinders. We were able to get some contracts for the school, and we were catering, events for them every other month or so. But with any business, there are always a lot of problems, or with anything you do in life, let's keep that in mind. But I started running into some problems that, were hard to ignore. The first one, a DoughCart had arrived, it had arrived damaged. So there was a broken window, most importantly, as well as the motor at the bottom had been stripped or cut, in transit, I assume. The window was an easy fix, and also there were some, I need to get the equipment. There were some things that need to be done inside, which I didn't think was too crazy, as, including installing a sink, which, I worked on. But the motor was really the most difficult problem, and we actually ended up talking to the manufacturer, who was really responsive, and I still really appreciate the person I was talking to. They had actually sent over 2 different motors, and both of those times those motors had arrived damaged as well. So that was just really, really frustrating to deal with, because I never actually got a new working motor, so that's still an issue I had to deal with. The second issue was that I want to say about a year after we started going into the kitchen, you could just tell again. So they were letting me in for free, and this was a huge favor on our standpoint. So eventually decided, hey, you're gonna need to find a new space. Business is business, as you may have heard before, and you can't really get emotional and personal about it. I wasn't too emotional hurt about it because, again, I agree, business is business. But it did make me realize one thing, and something that I always realize and I try to spread on this channel, is that you need to be in control of your own life, your own assets, your own resources. And I wasn't in control of that kitchen. It wasn't my kitchen, I was a guest. So one of my goals moving forward, and as I continue to grow this business, is to start getting our own kitchen, to control our means of production and to control everything that we do. Because again, we're not just a business, we're not just any business that wants to make money and call it a day. We are trying to solve a global problem, and we're going to need to control our own means, because we cannot afford to let anyone to wait for anyone, because clearly there hasn't been a viable solution done so far. So it's a race against the clock, and we need the research to get there. Now for the $1 million question, should you do what I did and get yourself a food truck? It really depends on what you're looking for, to be cliche. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick plan, I wouldn't recommend it, because getting rich quick usually never works. And for me, as I said, I'm okay with taking a longer term plan. I consider myself very patient, and I just want to know that the efforts I'm doing aren't going to go to waste. For example, depending on how you look at it, I could look at the DoughCart as a failed product, because I never got to drive. But I learned a lot from it. Again, I got a lot of media attention, which is great. Which I obviously didn't buy the food truck just for some pictures and some media. But again, it helped grow my business somewhat. And maybe I would have not got it if looking back at it. But I really do think that everything happens for a reason, so I'm not looking at it negatively. And again, I really do still appreciate the people that sold it to me and everything, but it just didn't work out for my business. So I look at it and say, hey, if you just want to get in the food service industry, your main issue is gonna be getting a functioning truck, and that's something that I particularly can't help you with or tell you about much, because I didn't get one. But you're gonna want to talk to your city first too, to make sure it's going to be street legal. Before you do anything, I'm going to say you want to talk to your city, talk to the manufacturer as well to make sure you're getting exactly what you need and looking for. I'm probably going to take the route moving forward of just getting a truck domestically, because if there's any issues, I don't have to ship stuff back and forth from China or whatever. And it'll probably just be a safe route in the long term. So I'm glad I was able to share my journey experience with y'all, and I try to be as transparent as possible. A lot of the information that a lot of people have asked was answered in the first 2 videos. If there was some information that you didn't get from the first 2 videos or this one, then feel free to leave a comment. Moving forward, this is actually going to be the last video, probably, I'll say probably, that I'm making on the DoughCart, because again, I am moving forward with my business, and in a more boring sense that you won't see the flashy DoughCart, but we're still growing, and again, my main focus is to end hunger. And I know that this particular food truck isn't going to do it, but the efforts I put into getting more food trucks, or to just continue my catering operations or whatever I do, will help. And I'm not, my mind has not been so dead set on getting this one truck to work when I realized maybe in terms of money, but in terms of time and effort, it's not worth it to continue to pursue it at this current point in time. So that's where I'm at, y'all. I'm always going to be transparent with you, and that's just what happened with this DoughCart. I hope no one bought one off my word specifically, but again, here's my journey, and feel free to continue to ask me questions. These DoughCart videos have been the most popular ones on the channel, so if you came to this channel and found me through the DoughCart stuff, I'm really happy that you are able to find some value in this channel, and I hope that you continue to find value in whatever it is, whether it's business or personal, or my jiu-jitsu videos, whatever it is. I hope that you still find something some joy and life in this channel. If there's something else I can make a video on that you'd be interested in, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to continue to make content, and I will be continuing to make content for you all, because I know we're all going to get to millionaire status one day, and it's going to start right here on the DoughClub. So thank you all, my future millionaires, for watching, and please stay tuned for the next one.